Okay, the next unit that we're going to cover is going to be linear equations, how to graph them, how to analyze them, how to write the equation of graphs that we see, stuff like that. So let's go ahead and get started. Now during this course we're going to study a lot of different graphs. There are going to be a lot of different shapes. And what a graph does is it allows us to visually see how one variable causes a change in the other. So once we have a graph, we can get equations and we can predict what's going to happen. Like what will happen if I set an x value equal to 312, what will the y be? Then what's going to happen if I make the x value go even higher? It allows us to analyze data. Each graph is going to have its own unique characteristics. It could be a linear graph, an exponential graph, a rational equation, a square root graph. There's a ton of graphs that we're going to work with, and the first one, of course, that we're going to work with is going to be the linear one. And a unique thing about a line is that it has a constant rate of change, and that rate of change is called the slope. And what that means is that if I change one of the variables x by 2, that change in 2 will always produce the same amount of change in y. So let's see, for example, how that's going to be. And let's just use like I'm walking. So let's say that I'm walking at 3 miles per hour, or 2 miles per hour. So if I'm walking at 2 miles per hour, and I go 2 hours, let's change that. Let's say I go 1 hour. Okay, so if I go 1 hour, I'll go 2 miles. If I walk 2 hours, I'll go another 2 miles, so now I've gone 4 miles. If I walk 3 hours, I'll go another 2 miles, and so now I've gone 6 miles. And so that's going to always be the same. For every hour I walk, I will go 2 miles further. That will never change for that line. Let's see what that would look graphically. So let's say that I'm starting at some place at line 0, at point 0, and I walk for 1 hour, and now, so here would be hours plotted on this axis, and we'll plot miles on this axis. So I go out an hour, and I go 2 miles. So 1 hour out, go 2 miles up. Okay? I walk another hour. I go another 2 miles. I walk another hour. I walk another 2 miles. So what you see is this kind of a thing is going to cause a straight line. That no matter where I'm at on this graph, that slope will always be the same. So even if I go between larger points, let's say between here and here. Okay, so now I've walked 2 hours, and I've gone 1, 2, 3, 4 miles. Well, I'm still walking at 2 miles per 1 hour. So nothing changes. It's always going to be the same, no matter where I'm at on the line. And that's the rate of change. And it's also going to create the slope of the line. I have a constant rate of change. 2 miles for every hour. Okay, so another thing about a line is that we really only need to have two things to be able to plot it, or to understand where it sits on a coordinate plane. If I know the starting point of that line, let's say the line starts there, or one point on the line is there, I can call any point the starting line, and let's say then we have a slope of 2 over and 1 up. 2 over, 1 up. 2 over, 1 up. That as long as I have some place to start and I know the slope, I can draw the line. So that's another neat thing about a line. I don't really need to have very much information to draw a very good line. I really only need to have the starting point of the line and the slope. And that's how we get to the slope-intercept form, or that's why we use it so much. And we'll talk about that more in just a second. But y equals mx plus b is slope-intercept form, and you can see why that's so important. The m here is going to be the slope, or the rate of change. And the b, let's think. Okay, let's put 0 in for x. So if x is 0, I have m times 0. Okay, that goes away, and I'm left with b, just b. So when x is 0, the y value will be b, and it's going to be on the y-axis right here. Somewhere, wherever it is on the y-axis, because the x value is 0, right? This is the x-coordinate. This is the y-coordinate. When x is 0, I'm going to be on the y-axis. So that's what's good about the slope-intercept form, is it gives us a starting point on the y-axis, b, that I can plot the line from, where I can start plotting the line, and then it gives me the slope here, which is just whatever coefficient is in front of the x. So it makes it very, very easy to plot a line when I have something in slope-intercept form, and that's what that is, and we're going to talk about that in one of the next upcoming videos, slope-intercept. Okay? That's it.